Okay, hello everybody, and there we go. That's the camera's a bit better over there. Finally, how's everyone doing? Good to see some of you are tuning in on this. It's Wednesday, right? On this Wednesday night at like 8 p.m. This is like adult TV time back in the old days, and it's not a movie. So thank you for tuning in. I can finally talk to all of you and check in how you're doing. It's been a while since we've had like a one-on-one. I've been on Jeremy and Roman's stream and everybody else. Good to see all the usuals and some new faces in the comment section. So I'm obviously here to. Yes, it's a random couch in the background, Beth. I'm obviously going to take questions and answers from you guys. So I just want to get through a couple of things I actually wanted to discuss with you first. Uh, First off, the practicalities of a possible um, class action lawsuit against the government after the lockdown level 4 and 3 regulations were declared unconstitutional. So, had a bit of a back and forth with a legal professional that knows their way around this thing. And if the judgment is upheld, there is unfortunately a pretty good chance that government would try to appeal this as opposed to just applying the corrections within the 14-day process because it's quite significant. They might try to appeal it. If the judgment is upheld, which in all likelihood it might well be, that opens the door to all sorts of class action suits to get damages. The downsides to it, it's going to be a very complicated case, which would infer it's going to be quite an expensive case as well, because it involves a whole bunch of subject matter experts that will have to be involved. The damage done to businesses will have to be quantified. Obviously, the more plaintiffs you have, the more affordable this sort of thing becomes, but it's a complex thing to drive. So it will depend upon how aggressive people feel or how aggressively people feel about the issue, how strongly they feel about it, and how keen they would be to get involved and drive it. So I'm going to obviously keep my finger on this pulse. I will give feedback. This ties in quite nicely with the Paratus small and medium enterprises database that we've been busy building, and it's the responses have been huge. I mean, so far it's been 2.5, 3 days worth of emails, and we've already got 76 businesses on this database. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I just want to finish talking about the class action. So, the more plaintiffs we can get in the event of this becoming a possibility, in the event of it becoming a practical thing, uh, it will definitely, be more affordable and the outcome be more favorable and the damages awarded will be more significant and material. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Definitely keep you posted on it. So, with regards to the small and medium enterprise, the SME database, that's going well. My web developer is busy building a dedicated page on the paratus.info website that will be dedicated to this database. That'll incorporate the businesses in categories that we haven't quite figured out yet, but we're getting there in the relevant categories with the contact details, with the logos, with everything, so that we can build this network that we are trying to construct. And the cool thing about it is that there are so many, the variety, the cross-section of businesses and industries represented is massive. There is a huge amount of businesses that just, there's extensive overlap, obviously, but there's also a lot of niche being covered. So I'm quite excited to see what it's going to be like, what the potential scope is, especially when I take our database and hook it up with Roman's one that he's busy building at Morning Shot, and then seeing what externalities we can exploit. That's just fancy corporate speak for saying, what opportunities can we present to people in this database and to our readership and to our subscribers making use of these businesses. Obviously, it's not a vetting process. I'm not using this thing to say like, oh, you got to use these businesses because I highly recommend them. I don't know what these businesses are run like. I don't know what the services are like. I'm just saying these are people that subscribe to me. These are their businesses. Times are tough. Here's a registry of them. Phone them, make contact with them, use them, do whatever you need to do if you need these specific services, and if it's in a geographic area, whatever. So the idea is still developing, but stuff is happening and it's going to be implemented, and I'm quite excited to see what it's like. So there's that. So those are those two issues. Then I need to talk to you about new interest in gun ownership as the lockdown winds down, as well as Gun Free South Africa's new target. But before you guys lose interest, I'm sure. Hello, everyone, by the way. I'm just being distracted here by the comments rolling over. Hello, everyone. I'm going to say hello to everyone and take your questions and read your comments in a moment. And yes, it is floor gang. I am on the floor. um, just to tie in with the SME thing before I forget, next week, Tuesday, I'm having a chat to Zach and Bele. It'll be a live stream, but it'll be like in the middle of the day. So a lot of you at work won't be able to attend. So if you've got questions you want me to ask Zach, send them to me in the meantime. I will set up a link to the stream ahead of time so you can already comment on there and I can read and whatever. But we're going to be talking small and medium business from an MP's point of view and what's going on, and just it's going to be a nice organic conversation. So that's next week, Tuesday. So the merchandise, some of you guys have probably seen the hoodie and the cap design I put on the Facebook page. Very excited about both these. There are some practical challenges to it. The cap is 100% good to go. On both of these items, I'm going to try to keep the pricing as reasonable as humanly possible. This is the first run. I can't compete with high-end products pricing out there. We're going to keep it affordable because I want to sell this thing to as many people as is humanly possible. The economic times are tough. I am not going to charge a premium for these things, but the quality is really high. I'm really happy with what I've seen from the supplier so far. So the cap is 100% good to go. The hoodie is a design I love, and the feedback that I've gotten from all of you so far has been excellent. Problem with it is all the stuff is locally sourced. None of this is made in China. And the factories that are supplying the actual garments were not essential. So they weren't operating. So there's a huge shortage in all the sizes I need in black. And the Paratus brand just doesn't work in this context on any other color. So I'm being quite particular about what I want. I want the product to be high quality and to work with the brand. So it needs to be perfect. The Hawaiian shirts I got feedback on today. And I'm not going to talk long about it because the project isn't dead, but there are implications. So firstly, how's it, Ramon? Happy birthday. Everyone, Ramon is here. Let's sing happy birthday to him. I'm not going to sing, so you all sing to him. We'll just leave it there to the birthday boy. Ramon is getting really old. He's still younger than me, but only for now. That didn't even make any sense. But we'll just leave Ramon up there. So the Hawaiian shirts are happening, but right, complicated thing. The pattern is going to be a polyester / cotton type blend. A lot of cotton in the shirt because it has to be due to the nature of it. And it's going to be a full. I got the technical specs and I don't have the jargon. Costs are high. If I sell these shirts for 510 Rand a shirt, I am making a profit of $20 per shirt, which is fine. That's not the sort of project I'd like to make a huge profit on because it's really cool. I would just like to sell them. I would just like to make something out of them. But we're looking at a minimum order quantity of 100. So if you can find me 100 friends and you're willing to deposit 510 Rand into my bank account, all 100 of you, before getting these shirts, then I can get you these Hawaiian shirts and we're sorted. But up until then, I'm just going to have to sell a bit of different merchandise that's a much lower price than this stuff, and then work my way towards getting the Hawaiian stuff rolled out and people will be more confident. So that's where we are with the Hawaiian shirts at the moment. But if, the caps are going to roll out, the hoodies, again, as soon as we actually get them, as soon as the garments are available, I can have those rolled out. The design is good to go. The garments aren't available due to what the lockdown did to the factories. These are locally designed, locally manufactured. It's a local product. Nothing is made in China, and that's also important to me. So just be patient with me. But in the meantime, there's a t-shirt design that's being rolled out that is a stopgap that I really like, but I don't have the design on hand to show you yet. And then the cap. So those two things, hopefully next week, we'll be able to roll it out. And if people want it, please buy it because I'm going to get mine. I really like what the design is like, and That's enough merchandise talk, though. Otherwise, I'm going to bore all of you, and you really want to just talk to me, talk nonsense to me. And I see Ramon is being very thankful for the happy birthday song we're singing him. So there's that. Um, Talking about GFSA quickly, they had a whole. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. I can't. I might. They had a whole thing today where they had a huge issue about the alcohol ban. And to be honest, I'm surprised it took them this long to declare war on alcohol. I mean, the whole gun ownership thing, they're already like pushing adults in South Africa aren't responsible enough to look after themselves, are not responsible enough to make adult decisions. I mean, we can have children, we can work for a living, we can vote, we've got all these rights and privileges, but you're not responsible enough to own a gun, according to Gun Free SA. Now they've declared war on alcohol. So we're constantly being infantilized by these boring Puritan virgins over at GFSA who, finally woke up to the fact that they should probably declare war on alcohol to remain consistent to being unfun idiots that no one likes. So they've started that now. That's a new angle. So if you like guns, cigarettes, and alcohol, hey, that's ATF already. GFSA is our ATF. They're our spaghetti soup agency, proxy, whatever you want to call them, and no one likes them, and they're not happy with wanting to take your guns from you. Now they want to take your wine, your beer, your whiskey, whatever it is you drink. Now they want that as well. So we'll make them famous for that soon, don't worry. There is definitely, on that note, much from my side alone, people contacting me, and new guys don't own guns at all. They really want to own guns now after the lockdown. Crime rates are increasing markedly. In the area I'm presently, there were emails sent out by the Neighborhood Watch, who's not allowed to operate, about rising interpersonal and property-related crime. We've had violent home invasions, muggings, armed robberies. You can see the amount of armed robberies perpetrated against courier agencies and courier companies and couriers out on the road. CRT heists are carrying on. Crime is definitely on the way up, and it's probably going to spike to much higher levels than prior to lockdown due to the economic and social circumstances that were imposed on us by lockdown. So a lot of new people wanting to get guns, and I'm just saying, if I can help in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy to. Please refer people that contact you about it. If you need help to my website, refer them to me. Get in touch with me. I know I'm really bad at reading messages, but I'm getting better at it on the Facebook page. And the other admins also kind of try and answer and stuff, and they'll refer to me. So if new people need guns, I really want to help. I'm speaking to Tammy Jackson next week. She wants to get a gun. She's Students for Liberty and Progress SA. They're doing great work on campuses and punting individual liberty and this sort of stuff. So it's all happening. It all ties in together. And I think that almost covers my rant for this evening in 13 and a half minutes. So that's a whole new world record of me rambling at you. So let's see what you guys are saying. Rick McNamee is here for Boogie Wonderland. Thank you. Mr. IZA. Laleo, good to see you. Mr. Punisher catching his, finally gets a live stream with me. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah. Mareka, my favorite purple cow. Andre and Beth, obviously, with the couch. Hello, everyone. So right now, I'm at your disposal. Kathy's there from the Republic of Dahlstrom. Geez, I haven't been to Dahlstrom in ages. Would love to, when it's open again, try and figure out how to do fly fishing. Great to see you here, Chris, and Dean and Yaku, Mr. Mayberg. This freaked me out now. I was on Facebook where the video popped up. I killed it, but the sound continued. Moments later, I realized I set a reminder. Okay, you see, I penetrate through all the digital walls, Yaku, and someone's probably going to make a dirty comment about that. Another Yaku is here as well. There's now two Yakus, right? One on top of the other, and I mean that platonically, in the comment section. To sue the government, it will be fruitless. Damages will be paid from your taxes. Yeah. The thing about this is government will have to take those damage payments either from some state department's budget, or they'll have to make some other plan to get it. Printing money is not off the charts, but it's not on the charts either. But either way, needs to be punished. The government needs to be punished for what they did to small and medium enterprises. It comes too late, unfortunately, for far too many people that have lost their jobs, their livelihoods. I mean, I'm technically unemployed at the moment. I mean, I'm employed, I'm just not getting paid, which is why I want to sell you merchandise so I can keep a roof over my head, like hashtag capitalism. But in all seriousness, I'm still in a fortunate position where I have a roof over my head. There are a huge number of people out there that are genuinely struggling, and they're struggling in silence, and they're suffering in silence. They don't have a platform to get their voice out there to say. I mean, I had that lady from Klerksdorp today who popped up on my who popped up on our group, and she managed to get help through the Paratus community. So you guys have been absolute stars. You've been absolute rock stars in helping her out today. And she's one person. There are many just like her out there, and they are just trying to find help wherever they can, because that's what they have. That's all. That's the only option they have. So suing the government is great for those who can still litigate. And I think, forget about the payout, forget about the compensation. Out of principle, government should be sued into complete bankruptcy for what they've done to us. This is one method of fighting back. There are so many methods. If you want to know more, go check out my interview with Rob Hutchinson. It is on the YouTube channel from DRSA. We had a really cool chat about what your options are to exercise in order to fight the lockdown. And I think I should do a follow-up with Rob about how to fight the government now, because that's what DRSA is all about. And then I can give you guys some meaningful feedback and some meaningful content for a change. Manalisi, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but yes, I am indeed Floor Gang. I'm accused of being the gun PewDiePie, or wanting to be the gun PewDiePie, and of course I want to be the gun PewDiePie. If I can do stuff with guns and have 60 million subscribers, the sky would be the limit. So, Paul, how's it? Good to see you. And Graham. But Graham always just checks in on Facebook to make fun of the book face boomers, and then he comes to YouTube. Grant, hello to see you here, and Vorstier, and I'm just saying how's it to everyone. Yes, Graham, we know you're everywhere. You are omnipresent like the tax collector. Sean, and of course, I already said how's it to Beth and Sabrant and Roman and all this. Beth asks a good question. Will there be an education category on the SME database? I want to submit a music teacher. Beth, why not? I mean, I'm not keeping anything exclusive on this database. The whole point is any small and medium enterprise, even if you are a proprietor of a franchise, for example, you know what? You're still the owner and operator of it. I'm not going to exclude you from the database just because you work for a bigger corporate. You're still the owner, right? This is about getting individuals empowered, individual businesses and their employees. And if you are a music teacher, I mean, I've got accountants and I've got, well, lawyers can't really advertise, but I've got financial services providers that are on this database. So of course a music teacher can be. Absolutely. No, my whole thing is to try and get reach as many people and incorporate as many people as possible. I don't want to exclude people. I'd rather make an excuse or find a reason to include someone on this database as opposed to finding reasons to exclude people. I know there are people who would obviously operate on an exclusionary basis, but that's not how my brain works. So definitely send the music teacher in my direction. Please do. Thank you for the compliment. I am super excited. My designer, Bernard Kleitz, is epic in what he does. Like, he's super passionate about this. He wants to make it work, and I'm excited about it. I want to be. If I want to wear my own stuff, that's generally a good indication that it's something that's of what do you call it? That it's of good quality. So the whole point is, I don't want to put something out there that I'm not proud of. And if it takes a bit longer, then so be it. Daniel, any chance that the cap could be like this one, the Oakley CZ cap? I could always try. It's at the moment I'm trying to keep it basic, just feeling my way through. I don't want to do anything overly ambitious for the sake that this is my first run at this. I'm a merchandise virgin, so I don't want to go and cause, I don't want to try and do too much on my first run. But if it's a success, then we can get more complicated, and people want camo patterns and stuff. I'm not going to take anything off the table. All these ideas are good. I just want to temper my expectations and curb my enthusiasm a little bit in the beginning. But keeping that comment there, please keep sending me suggestions of what you want, as what you guys are interested in, because I think it's important that have this sort of feedback and interaction. Everyone's singing. I'm at the point now in the comments where everyone is still singing "Happy Birthday" to Ramon. So, okay, yeah, Beth, you're on the level. Cotton's expensive. You know this from experience. Um, can I pay for a cap and you don't ship it till the hoodies are available? I'm sure. I'm having it. Look, tomorrow morning I'm phoning the company that does it. They're really good at what they do, and I'm going to have a proper chat to them about the practicalities of this, and then I'll give everyone feedback again. I presume most of you do read the Facebook page. That's how you kind of find your way. And if you don't worry. We'll talk about it on a live stream. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms sound like a good time, indeed. And I think a lot of people who didn't smoke at all might take it up after the lockdown ends just to stick it to the man, really. I mean, if you want, it's the Streisand effect. If you want to promote something, if you want to make it more popular than it was before, ban it or try and prohibit it or try and do something to it that from a government regulatory point of view that there wasn't before, and just watch it flourish. Wolfont. If we get an ATF, I boog, even if I die alone. You know what? I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you in spirit and in deed. Voorstier, my SIGP 365 license was approved 28 Feb, still waiting for the damn card. Now, they really should get their arse in gear. Which station are you at? Or, I mean, I know a lot of the printing's done centrally, but the card might actually be printed. Your DFO just needs to go fetch it or have it delivered. Tommy, can I put my link up? Which one would you want me to put up? Because I will. Just give me feedback quickly, and I will do that. As I'm scrolling through the comments, I will get to it. I mean, you made that comment nearly 10 minutes ago, so I hope you're still here. Hi, Gideon. I like guns and cigs and alcohol on occasion, not mixing booze and guns. It's generally frowned upon to mix alcohol and firearms. Just putting it out there. So you're good, responsible attitude to have. Yeah, Steve, I think your comment says the reality of it. We're too busy harassing people for slips of their cigarettes and arresting surfers, and we are looking after real criminals. If I want to take up fishing, Vorsti is my guy. Okay, we will. You see, we're already sort of leveraging network effect here just with my subscribers. At least now I'm a purple cow, not just a cow. Yeah, my Reika sent me a force choke because I was like a complete arsehole to her and very mean on, I think it was Jeremy's stream. And I felt so, because I was like, oh God, this could have come across really terribly. And I didn't have Marika's details, so I had to send an apology via Jeremy, and she force choked me. I just realized how absolutely bizarre this might sound to people not familiar with Star Wars. So I think I'm just going to leave it there before I dig my hole deeper. Have I managed to stock up on booze? I had a fairly decent stock before lockdown. It's been severely dented, but making replenishment efforts as we speak. Problem is funding, but one can prioritize and make a plan. Andre, I'm technically employed on the use and abuse position. Yeah, I know what that feels like. Kathy, Dahlstrom is dying a slow death. 10 businesses have closed down in the last month, and retrenches are order of the day. I hate reading stuff like this. I absolutely hate it. But again, this is the whole point of the potential class action suit, as well as why I started the SME database and why I'm going to hook it up to Ramon's one, to try and at least make a difference where one can, because it's very important that we try and. I know you can't government proof it. Someone corrected me on it yesterday, the day before, when I said we need to government proof our economy and our businesses. And yeah, I know it's impossible to government proof anything, but you know what? When you start operating and playing outside of the sphere where government can control you, then to a very large degree you have government proofed it. And I think the public will, let's call it that, the public will and desire to government proof their businesses is finally now at a level where it should be, where it needs to be, in order to make a success out of just in operating as independently as humanly possible outside of government interference. So we're finally there psychologically. We're finally there in the sense of we're willing to gear it in that direction, and that's to me the only one of few, actually few silver linings, not the only one of few silver linings from this entire lockdown and the economic apocalypse that resulted from it. For us, see a lot more people in Clarksville begging at the robots, black and white people. Same in Cape Town. A lot more people begging than prior. I think I already mentioned something about it in one of my previous streams and then in my writing, but a lot of people are begging, and it's ridiculous. Remember what they did to Mussolini? That was hot. I think that's what people are feeling right now about our politicians, is if we could hang them up across a freeway from a bridge, we would. We might be as gracious as letting them pick which freeway they'd prefer. I can't even speak tonight. Which freeway they would prefer to be hung up from, or over, so to speak, from which bridge. You know what? Let me just move on because I can't talk. Good to see Jay here. And Smith, do you have a size guide for the hoodies and shirts so we can pre-order maybe? It's very standard sizes. It's a small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, what so on. So it's South African sizes, right? So we're not talking here Chinese medium, Chinese large. So this is if you're a South African large, you're probably going to be a large in this. You won't have to alter it too much. But I will try and get a size guide out of them tomorrow, and then give you some feedback. I'm very hesitant to push for pre-orders because I'm cautious to take people's money for a product that isn't real yet. There's been too much fuckery happening with stuff like that, and I don't, it's a risk, and I trust myself, but I don't want to put people in that position. I don't want to put myself in a position that's could be a bit either mortifying or embarrassing or whatever. But I'll think about it. Like, if there's huge push for it, if people are really desperate to pre-order, it helps puts pressure on the supplier as well, right? So obviously, I'm gonna put pressure on the guy tomorrow in a nice way. I mean, I'm to try and get it as soon as possible. I'll let Thomas know about the database. Okay, so this is a music teacher. Fantastic. I did, Stephen, and that's exactly the point about litigating class action suit against the government. There's a lot of scope for it, but again, before my head and my heart runs away and I dive head first, I'm a bit like this. I run away with ideas, and I need more sensible people to sometimes just like pull my choke chain a bit and curb my enthusiasm. So I need stuff to just get all the information. And it's going to take time, but I don't think anyone's going to forget about it. Laleo, my extended family are in the hospitality industry, and now I have a 30 million rand overhead, and I can promise you they are not alone. I can promise you that the hospitality industry as a economic sector are probably in the most dire straits it's ever been in this country's history. And they're not the only economic sector. They're not the only industry that's like this. I mean, I have some insight. What I do now as my day job is I'm busy helping a really, really cool economist, one of our top 3 economists, with a really cool project, which I can't tell you about, but that you will hear about in a few months' time, and that I will then tell you about. But this project also gives me insight into a lot of other economic sectors, and it's grim. Okay, Anton Stegman, on his show, which is the CEO. Hang on, let me just find Anton's thing here, because he did a really cool interview with Davy Ruet 2 nights ago that I watched. It was epic. I can highly recommend you guys go find this interview. I'll try a link to it. You know what? Screw it. I'm actually just going to go and post it on the Paratus Facebook page. Watch that interview Anton did. And Davy explains the situation that South Africa is in much better than I can. Oh, by the way, it's not Davy I'm working with. Just disclaimer, he's not the economist I'm helping. I really like Davy, but I'm not working for Davy at the moment or with Davy. But he did a really good job at explaining where we are and where the world is and where he thinks we're going. Mark, how's it, Mark? And don't worry, if you missed the beginning, kiss the beginning, miss the beginning, doesn't matter. This is always recorded and saved for posterity, so anyone can go back and watch. What about taking the shirt design and print shooting shirts? It might be a bit cheaper. I'm going to start with t-shirts first. The shooting shirts could very well work. And as soon as shooting clubs and ranges open for public consumption, the sport gets going, definitely. But at this stage, I'm trying to keep costs as low as possible. Look, the hoodies are probably going to retail probably around about 400 Rand a hoodie. I'm this. Don't quote me on this, okay? But this is me trying to work in. I'm not 100% sure what the costing would be. It's very much dependent on a lot of other stuff. The caps are going to be considerably cheaper than that, considerably, and the t-shirts as well. But that's kind of more or less an average price. There are a lot of hoodies retailing for more of the same quality, but I want to keep the price as low as possible because people don't have money right now. I don't want to sell stuff to people and it's and expensive and I'm trying to make as much profit markup. I'd rather take a much, much, much lower markup, much lower, get the brand established, get people believing that the stuff is quality and then take it from there. And I'd rather have more of you being able to afford it than sell to a smaller market at a higher price. That's not what this is about. That's not what I want to do at Baratas. So but shooting shirts on off the thing. I'm just taking it slowly. Limited product selection right now. Still feeling my way through this. We'll get there. But I love the enthusiasm, definitely. And we're going to carry on. We'll do the Hawaiians. We'll do everything. What is this Saitlanders? There's people who are. I've actually lost touch with what they are. They are a survivalist, sort of Afrikaner survivalist organization, but there was something that happened to them a few years ago and they kind of disappeared and they came back. But I think someone else may be better positioned to give feedback on this. I think Jeremy Nell, on his Germ Warfare channel, interviewed their chief guy. And I recommend 2 channels to subscribe to: Germ Warfare and Morning Shot. Ramon and Jeremy. Go and please subscribe to their YouTube channels. I talk a lot of nonsense on there as well. We do a lot of streams together and they do excellent work. Very different content, like vastly different. What Ramon does versus what Jeremy does. Different audiences, different approaches, but love their work. So please go and give them a like, a subscribe, or whatever. You won't be disappointed. I think you'll like. If you watch me, you can definitely watch them. Their production quality is a million times higher than what I'm doing. This is a very rough and tumble like approach, as you've picked up. How's it, Pepler Steel Studio? How's it, kids? Thank you, and Jaku Meiber. Lawrence Fentham, I'm in Cape Town. Can assist with the branding, supply sweaters, local made in Cape Town, and embroidery and screen print. Lawrence, thank you. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, just sending me your details, please, because at this stage, you know what, I'm exploring all sorts of options. The current guys doing the stuff are based in Joburg, but I mean, it doesn't have to be just a one or nothing gig either. If it has a pro-gun theme, then it could come from Uzbekistan. I know, right? Okay, as long as it doesn't come from China, but also I feel strongly about supporting South African businesses at this stage as much as possible. Jason, not at this stage. I did phone around, not at this stage. I checked all the big ones, but as soon as I know, I will tell you. As soon as I know, I promise I will tell you. Same, Stephen. As soon as I know of any shooting ranges that open somewhere, I'll tell you. The guys in Gauteng seem to be ahead of the curve on this, though. There are quite a few open there, from what I believe, but none in Cape Town. Ahmed, subscribe on YouTube. But, okay, I have to do my usual, like, begging bowl. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Several reasons for this. One, YouTube really does archive the videos that I do in the streams a lot better than Facebook does. They're a lot easier to find older content or previous content on there. Secondly, it's a much better streaming platform. And if Facebook does a thing where they shadow ban me again, if you subscribe to me on YouTube, you can at least keep track about what I'm doing, and I can keep in comms with you guys. So please do subscribe on my YouTube. I will still stream on both platforms, on Facebook and YouTube, because most of you are still on Facebook, but not like it's now 50-50. If I can see the stats here, it used to be a lot more people on Facebook only, so a lot more people on YouTube are subscribing. So if you want to be a cool kid, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Last time I checked, no, but I mean, I won't tell if you won't tell, Steve. I'm smoking in protest, gun smoking because practicing for protest. Yes. Daniel, this is most tragic news. But I'm glad that the local microbreweries and that have probably been taking a massive hit are doing better now and at least selling out stock. So thank God for that. Like, they were probably suffering hugely, and I didn't think that many of them were going to make it. Um, Greg, thank you. Like, massive compliment. Thank you very much. Not everything I say, write, or broadcast is always particularly good. Everything I do has some form of bias, but I try to keep it as real as possible, and that seems to work for most of you guys. As you do like me keeping it real. It's not that I'm not very good at deception, so thank you. Leroux, all His Excellency had to do to calm the plebs was stick a dummy for. And it took them long enough to get there, eh? Ahmed, my Algerian friend, hello, welcome again. Like, it's always cool to see you here. How are things in the well, I can't even say how are things in the desert, because if you live in the coast and you're far away from the desert, whereabouts are you in Algeria? Actually, just for interest's sake. Yeah, we could probably this will be the most useful thing to do with the ETOL gantries, is to use them as gallows. Um, and we won't be running out of politicians to hang either, will we? There's hundreds of them, if not thousands of them. So we can, really be. We don't even need to be picky. Um, Jay Skippers, you can bubble. You cannot bubble wrap stupid, nor can you do the same for government. That is absolutely true. Bernard, good to see you here. I think we should all donate to a fund to promote some kind of fun shooting activities for non-gun people with safety courses. Maybe one of the ways we can maybe get more people to join us. I agree. Ghost had a really good thing going with the farms festivals, but the problem with them is they're very expensive to hold. They are incredibly expensive endeavors. They're expensive to market. There's a lot of permission you have to get from municipalities, metros to host them. It's a huge thing. False Bay Sport Shooting Club have open days regularly that they do really, really well with. And I think if we can do similar things, get the local shooting ranges, pick a range, get them to host it with their range officers, help them supply the funding, help them with the admin of it, you can probably get a hell of a lot done with not too much money. And I think this is something worth exploring, especially now when ranges start opening up again, to get feet through the ranges, get people aware that it's an activity that's possible, what the costs are, all this sort of stuff. So definitely. We need an Oliver Cromwell. We don't just need a Guy Fawkes. We need an Oliver Cromwell. Yaku, you are clearly a man who knows your history, and this is an awesome comment, probably one of my favorite ones. Just going through you guys saying how's it to each other. Thanks, Jason. I know. Okay, so I'll speak to the guy tomorrow and I'll see what we can come up with. But I don't want to just do pre-order too easily. Like, there might still be solutions that don't require pre-order. I really want my hoodie, but let's see if I can do it without a pre-order. Size of dimension. We have all grown a bit with. I will forward this concern. I promise. Jason, I have a restaurant and we've started retrenching after almost 11 years of operations. There's a great. Someone sent me a comment or a message the other day where he said he has it on good authority that about half the restaurants in Stellenbosch aren't going to be opening when lockdown lifts, and that just kind of hit home to me that people are I think, under a bit of a misimpression about and how much trouble we are at the moment, in the sense that we haven't quite the reality of how bad this lockdown has been hasn't quite hit us. It hasn't struck home yet, because we haven't been circulating enough in this, and I hate the term new normal because it isn't normal. It's new, but it's not normal. It's highly abnormal. Everything is abnormal that's happening. Being locked in your house as a healthy person because people are afraid of a virus with a 99.9% survivability rate isn't normal. Being forced to not go to work, losing your business, losing your livelihood, losing your employment, losing your job, watching what little savings you have dwindle in front of your eyes, that's not normal. The social distancing nonsense is not normal. People walking around outside with masks hiding their faces and hand sanitizer everywhere you go until your hands go red, that's not normal. None of this shit's normal. But I think people are in for a bit of a surprise when we go back out there into whatever the hell the normality is we want to call it, and we just notice the absolute devastation of it. And the thing is, a lot of this stuff won't be apparent immediately. Like, economic declines also sometimes take a while to bite. Some places may start operating again. in the sense that they open their doors, they do business for a month or two or a couple of weeks only, then realize they're not making it, and then they shut down permanently, suddenly, and without warning. And this is the sort of stuff that might be happening. It's tragic and horrible, and I hate seeing it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I really hope that this business database can make some sort of network effect and make some sort of difference. I hope. Steve, a mate of mine with a printing business, is also closing down. 80% of his work is through hospitality and hotels. And yeah, we don't understand. Politicians don't get that the economy is a living organism, a living organ. Each organ is separate, but it supplies the needs to another organ. It's all interconnected. You can't shut stuff down and then start individual bits up and think it's going to work. Like there's necrosis, there's stuff that's gone wrong in the meantime, and that you can't just go flick a switch and everything goes, we're back in business, we carry on. This is what they don't understand. Like the damage to a large degree is permanent. It's irrecoverable. Like one industry is so dependent, linked forward or backwards to other industries, either as customers or as suppliers. They can't operate without those industries, and you keep it closed down, stuff like this happens. You close the hospitality industry down and printing businesses go out of business. And we are really led by malicious incompetence. A lot of people say, don't blame on malice that which can be more accurately attributed to incompetence. I go, that's cool. We know the ANC is highly incompetent. We know they are disastrously incompetent, but we also know they are incredibly malicious. They are an incredibly malicious, malignant, angry, horrible organization, and they are stupid to boot. So we've got double whammy here. You get maliciousness and incompetence at the same time in exponential values, and this is the result, really. And I think Beth puts it beautifully. Central planning is the great evil here. Like these idiots think you can centrally plan something. We've learned nothing from the experience of Eastern Europe, Cuba, Mao's Lake, Great Leap Forward. But anyway, I digress. I'm just ranting now, and I should shut up a bit. Rick, if the wine shirts are too expensive, do boog booty shorts. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. I actually like this. What would you like on them, or what sort of design? Give me some feedback. What would you consider to be a worthwhile boog booty shorts? Ruan is lekker om jou vanaand hier te sien. Sorry I'm taking so long to go through the comments, but I forgot Big Daddy Liberty. Yes, Big Daddy Liberty, Sishle, awesome guy. Don't know how I forgot him. Holes in my brain. Those are the three. Well, apart from, please do subscribe to my channel. I mean, don't just go there and ignore mine, but I mean, go to these three guys. They are epic, awesome. Dig their work. All of them very different. All of them doing amazing work. This is a good explanation, and then they make the fatal flaw of recording what their shit hit the fan escape plan is with all their equipment on Russia Today and broadcast it to the world, which from a PERSEC point of view and operational security point of view is probably not like the smartest move, but hey, I suppose whatever works for them, works for them. Democracy without responsibility is a recipe for decadence. Resistance is futile. The Borg will assimilate. Good comment, Ahmed. I dig it. Victoria Rangers don't give a fuck. No, they don't. The people who run the Rangers there are strong personalities. They're not going to get bossed around by unconstitutional lockdown regulations. And somebody needs to take the lead. And I'm glad some people are. Parrot is very good quality clothing from a place called Swag. It's in Philippi, so EDC. I'm going to have to EDC the flippin' effing fell there, bro, with body armor, but might be worth exploring. Sorry, guys. This comment section thing that I'm scrolling through jumps around a lot, and I'm probably missing some. But, yeah. Okay, cool. The new Para Arms range and City Gun ranges are open in Cape Town. Actually, I did hear that City Guns is going to operate, and I need to explore that because I need to go shoot some paper targets. So I'll go give City Guns a call tomorrow, and Mr. Martezzi, and I will give feedback and see, because if they're open, that's definitely where I'm going to be going as soon as humanly possible. It will be a big traffic jam. I was assuming it's a miracle if the content on this channel doesn't get flagged. I mean, we're literally talking about hanging people up from ETOL gantries and someone's just going to screenshot this specific section and say, Gideon Uber is a murderous bastard who's out on a warpath, homicidal maniac. Please suspend his gun license or something. Anyway, and how much more trouble can I get into? Um, Beth, my local shop with a range had open days for women and family. I thought it was a great idea. Just hope they survive this apocalypse. You know what? I'm hoping that shooting ranges are positioned in such a manner that they can absorb the economic fuckery that is. But yeah, and if they can't, I'm sure this actually just reminded me. This is something I don't have on my small and medium enterprise database. I have no shooting ranges. Phone your shooting ranges, tell them Gideon's trying to do a thing, and they must get in contact with me and send me their details. I mean, I'm not just going to add their details to the database if they want to be on there. I mean, they need to contact me and tell me, please add me. But anyone who tells me to add them to the database, I will. So please just, if you know anyone who should be on there but that doesn't know about it, or anyone who should be on there and has doubts, just twist their arm, phone them, tell them to send an email to me. Yeah, since you guys are watching, this is where they can email me. Let me just put the banner on here. I'm just going to put my email address on the screen because I don't have to do the whole funny spelling of it so that the bots don't send me spam. So let me just show it. Boom. There's my email address. Tell people to send it there, please. Farms can start private shooting ranges for friends and family. Small fees make up for laborers' wages. That's actually not bad. Like, I didn't know that. Jason, we are Franschhoek based. It's bad. Yeah, I can only believe. Like, wine farms are taking a beating, an absolute horrible beating. Friends of mine have a wine farm in Paarl. They're sitting with massive debt. They're not getting sales. They're busy moving wine at I'm not a cost price, but at severely discounted rates. They're yeah, you know what I'll do is I'll try and get them on the stream to talk to us about their situation. But if you know anyone who'd like to talk about their business and what it's had, whether it's a wine farm, hospitality industry, let them know. Look, I'm not adverse to talking to normal people. Like, I'm not a famous YouTuber, and even if I were, it doesn't matter. I like speaking to normal people with businesses about real life. So if you want to be on one of my streams, if you know anyone who wants to be on my stream, tell me and I'll fit you in somewhere. Like, we'll make a plan and we'll make it happen. So please, like, if you want to be on one of my streams, it's very easy to set up. Let me know. Grant. I speak to people who no longer have a job or business every day. Yeah, every day you meet someone new who basically just lost everything, and they lost it in the blink of an eye. Kathy, the ripple effect of this economic lockdown will be showing its uglier side by in July, and I think you're right. I think that's not a bad prediction at all. Andre, my office smells like a porn video post-production cleanup. That's a. I can actually smell that. It was so descriptive. I can actually smell it. Ahmed, well, the country is collapsing, but this is now Algeria, guys, if you're not paying attention or that missed it earlier. Well, the country is collapsing, but a certain virtue of religion and ethnic homogeneity helps to withstand the impoverishment going on. Europe is for sure going to get a big wave of people from us. And Germany is sitting with a huge recession at the moment. I mean, we're not hearing much about it, but they are. They are sitting with a massive recession. The economy is in huge dire straits. And Germany is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, single economy in Europe and in the Eurozone. So if Germany is on its knees, you can bet your bottom dollar that France and Italy and Spain and the rest of them are not on their knees. They're cut off at the knees. The knees have been removed by an axe blade or a hatchet. Bernard, excited for new event. Ladies and gentlemen, my designer, the designer of the hoodie, the designer of the caps, and the man who's busy working on the t-shirt design that we can roll out. In the meantime, in the event of the hoodies taking too long, that we can at least give you that. Mr. Bernard Clates, he is the genius behind the design. I just supply the platform and the logo, and like all of the stuff is his brainchild. So, and Bernard reads your comments on the Facebook page. He reads the inputs. He makes adjustments. The man is he's an architect, but he also has many other skills, and designing the swag and the merchandise is one of them. So, Bernard, thank you for tuning in and checking in. And yeah, his excitement is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely infectious. I think he might be more excited about this than me. Um, and there, the comments thing jumps again. Sorry, guys. I'm just. Jay, honest view. Will this economic knock have us heading towards a Selka type situation if we can pull together? Is it survivable? I think every economic collapse is survivable, definitely survivable. How it's going to play out is difficult. Look, South Africa has a lot in common with pre breakup Yugoslavia in the sense of humongous ethnic, uh, what should I call it, variety, diversity, linguistic diversity, cultural diversity, lots of inter ethnic, intertribal conflict below the surface, a strong desire from certain elements for self-determination, which is not a bad thing. Okay, guys, if King Goodwill Zelatini takes the Zulus and buggers off, I can promise you right now, he would make a huge success of Zululand, and he would have the potential of turning it into the UAE of Africa. If he applies his mind and he does a free market economy approach to it and all this stuff, the man would be far richer than he would be by taking a stipend from the ANC that just appeases him enough to stay in the Republic. That's why I have to keep increasing his allowance. Even though we have no money, if they stop paying Goodwill, he's going to take his land, his Zulus, which is a huge voting base for the ANC, and he's going to bugger off and do his own thing. So secession stuff is on the cards. Like it's going to become part of the national conversation, and it may very well determine the shape of this country into going into the future immediately. And I think a lot of people who thought secessionist talk is all like hocus pocus and conspiracy theory and Alex Jones, suddenly it's become a almost desirable alternative to the current status quo, and people are talking about it. So there you go. Beth, Daisy Duke shorts. Rick, is that what you had in mind? Um, and obviously needs a big snake on the shorts as opposed to having it in the shorts. I don't know. Maybe. We can see what we can do. Graham, booty shorts. Left cheek stay strapped, right cheek. You know, I can always count on my audience to give me serious design input when I need it most. I'm not favoring the YouTube comments, Andre. The thing is, the cool kids have migrated across to YouTube and they're just commenting a lot more than the Facebookers are. I'm not gonna start a civil war between the YouTube viewers and the Facebook ones, although it is kind of fun. All ranges in Parel are open and we are shooting like okay. I am driving through to Parel. Tell me where I can find a range. And I'm there next week, and I'll bring my own targets and target stands. I swear to God, I will be there at the drop of a hat. So I'm dead serious. Like, you tell me where shooting ranges open in Pavel, and I'm there. Lawrence, incompetent, yes, and yet the greatest master architect of the total armored downfall of our beloved country, and that is the ANC summarized in one sentence. Yeah, I also have no idea why, but I suppose there's a bit of institutional inertia. People are scared to make the first move because they're scared of being victimized by the police. I think that's really it. Like, a lot of people are making bad commercial decisions because they are terrified of being victimized by the police because the cops do just what they want and they don't care. You know, they don't care about consequences. They don't care about how tyrannical they are. They're willing to bully, bluster, and intimidate the population because, hey, this is what we do. That's not even the new normal. That's always been normal. Boomsticks and Parel. I think Boomsticks are actually a subscriber of mine, to be honest. I see their stuff pop up every so often. So, yeah, I will definitely support them if they've got a... well, you know what? If you wouldn't mind telling Boomsticks to get in touch with me, I'd love to add them to my SME database. How about that? Like, I think we should all support each other. Conscious Caracal, yes, I'm actually friends with a guy. Check him out as well. Like, if you guys know of any other YouTubers that deserve a bit of cross-pollination, put the name on there, and I'll, you know, it's doesn't cost me anything to send people over to another channel, like, with the greatest of pleasure. Beth's channel, by the way, I forgot about Beth's channel, and Beth is hopefully still here. Beth, tell people where to find your channel in the comments, and I can put it up on the screen, because Beth does amazing work. Like, really, she does. I'm actually thinking I'm going to have to do multiple streams on homeschooling. You should. It's going to be a hot topic now, especially with the education department screwing everyone over and these apocalyptic, like, photos of kids with visors and masks and social distancing on the playground while they're having lunch. What an Orwellian dystopian bullshit thing that is. Like, if I had kids, I wouldn't be sending them to school under those circumstances. People can forget it. Like, wouldn't subject them to that. Yeah, Grant as well. One of the problems is going to be when people are currently getting UIF return to non-existent jobs. Exactly, exactly. It's going to spectacular implosion, to put it uh, briefly. I saw something of this, but I've been so out of touch with the international news cycle because I've never been busier in my life than I have been the last week or two, and not getting paid for it. But it's good because I'm positioning to do bigger things with what I'm doing. So I've been so out of touch with a lot of new stuff. So if people know what's going on, please let me know. I'll actually go try and check that out. I'm just going to keep my email on the screen for a bit longer. You know, actually, you guys can rewind so I can take it away. I mean, it's been there for a long time. I wish the comments would stop jumping ahead when I'm about to read them. We'll send you the link, something like 75 million. Oh, this is the Zulu King that got his nice big budget increase. Yeah, no, I saw that, Andre. Like, it's crazy money. Crazy money. And he's already a rich man. Do we have to rock a wheel gun if we go to range on booty shorts? I'm not going to tell you what gun to, like, just buy my shorts and you can do with them whatever you want. But I'll talk shorts. I'll go take a look what options there are, and you know, I'll just have to think how to incorporate the design. Snack shirts, snack hoodies. The snack isn't really the Paratus brand, but we can make a special edition. It's Paratus's 6th birthday on 11 August, so I'm going to have to come up with something special for the blog, the brand's 6th birthday. Well, it rebranded in 2017, but I mean, Gun 7 Paratus, it's the same spirit, different body, same spirit. The guys in Cape Town already won their secession case, yes. So now it's really just to take this thought and this process that step further and actually make it a reality. Kevin, sorry, maybe my previous comment not understood. The ANC is arrogantly confident. Okay, no, I read that, and they are, most certainly. That's one thing. There's one thing that's a no short supply in the ANC is arrogant confidence, overconfidence. Beth, Eleutheria, South Africa. Look for the Liberty torch with a microphone in the middle of the turquoise background. That's Beth's brand. Beth does amazing stuff. Please go like her Facebook page, subscribe to her YouTube channel. There's boomsticks, by the way. I thought Beth might have given me her thing as well, but there's boomsticks for those who want to know. And Grant, I've never worked harder in 20 years and probably won't get paid for it. Dude, look, at least I can say in the current position I am working for me, not for anyone else. Well, apart from the economist thing, but he's actually paying me. What I'm doing for myself right now is completely like for no money. So that's why I'm, in one degree, really keen to get merchandise out, but at the same time the quality must be right, so it's taking a bit longer. It's worth anything worth doing with my logo on it is worth doing properly. TIRS UAF from May still struggling to pay. Yeah, I'm still owed TIRS from May, and I think most of my colleagues are owed TIRS from May as well. So it's Fiscus doesn't have money. You know, the vast majority of tax in this country, income tax, is paid by like 350,000 people, if I recall correctly. You make all those people temporarily unemployed for like 2 to 3 months. Where's the money to pay grants going to come from? It's all gone. It's evaporated, and they haven't opened the printing presses, and they can't borrow internationally. It's a huge mess. I don't think the ANC understands the size of the lot that they plucked for their gat, the size of the hiding that they're about to get for this. It's ridiculous. And you could talk school teachers, kids, what to think and not how to think. And I agree with you 100%. Like, I went to a really good school. I hated school. I never liked going to school, and I thought it was a juvenile thing at the time, but I really didn't like going to school. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that, you know, my favorite classes were English and history because those were the only 2 classes in school. It was a very good Afrikaans high school. So only 2 classes that really encouraged lateral critical thought on subjects and topics, well, and natural sciences to a degree. But I mean, I didn't like school because it was a compartmentalized, uniform bullshit story, and y- it it was, unfortunately, it's this enlightenment era thinking of academic indoctrination. And I think to a large degree that's why we sit with people who go stay home, save lives, and that buy into all this authoritarian bullshit, because as long as there's a headmaster talking to us, we just do what we are told and we don't question it. um then I will never, I will never knock wheel guns. I'm sometimes a bit, I'm sometimes a bit ugly to the, what is, the revolver people, but I respect the man who carries a 357 Magnum. I posted the link, but it isn't showing. Okay, but don't worry, I'll link to Beth on the Facebook page. I'll go find her channel and I'll put it on there with Anton's interview with David Ruit. And then, oh, by the way, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, I'm got a really interesting guy I'm interviewing. I'll put the reminder on after this finishes as well. So you get to see me again tomorrow night at 8. You get to talk to us again tomorrow night. Tears for May started paying yesterday. Okay, well, they're only slightly late, aren't they? Okay, there we go. Eleutheria South Africa. This is Beth's channel. She's commented with her channel. So there you go. There's her logo, her torch, everything. Let me I see. Okay, last question from Jason. Before I bore you guys to death, I know you want me to stay longer, but the floor gang is killing me, and I've got a couple of other things I still need to get finished tonight. But we're definitely live streaming again tomorrow. But I'll take Jason's question. Thoughts on the court ruling? It will probably be appealed. There's 14 business days from the judgment that government has to change stuff. But effectively, what it says is level 4 and 3 are unconstitutional. It'll take a very brave policeman to now go and try and arrest you for lockdown regulations, because that would mean you could probably take his pension from him. Well, the bit that the government hasn't already stolen from him, because that's happened. And if there's scope for a class action lawsuit, I promise I will tell you, and I will be involved in making it happen one way or the other. Not that I will be able to claim any money for it, because I don't have a small business that was affected, but to me it's about principle. I want the government to pay. I want them to be punished for what they did to us. I want them to be strung up from their ankles for just stealing our liberty and our freedom from us, and acting like the bunch of petty tyrants and petty socialists they are. That is really what I want. That's the outcome that I want. That's all that is about to me, because I've got these kamikaze tendencies and I want to take the bastards with me. And if I can organize 1,000 plaintiffs that will all share the costs for the subject matter experts and lawyers among them, and we take government down, we bankrupt the fiscus, and we say, fuck you for what you did to us, war, then that's a win for me. That's, that would all be what I'd care about. So, yeah, I don't like the Rotang meebles, but I'm glad that you do. And on that absolute bombshell, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to talk to you. Thank you for listening to my shilling my merchandise to all of you. There's this one thing, I don't even know if I got this, if I can do it. So this is the part where I pull a Ronaldo host. Ronaldo, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I pull a Ronaldo host on you guys. And if you want to donate any money to Paratus to help me pay for the internet or for the web hosting or any of the other nonsense, you can now do it through Zapper. The things are going to pop up all over my face. Boom. Hang on. There you go. You can see me there. So that's the Zapper thing. You can rewind. It's obnoxious and whatever. And then you can send me money via your cell phone, and I can use it to pay for the internet and the hosting and the web hosting, all sorts of stuff. But I mean, that's obviously strictly voluntary, and unfortunately I can't give you anything for it, but you get I'll give you a shout out. I'll give you a shout out for sure to say thank you. And guys, thank you very much for tonight. See you all tomorrow night. I'll put links to everything on the Paratus webpage, and you are fantastic. Thank you for the really cool questions you asked me. And no, Graham, I do not have a helicopter license. I always wanted one, but never got that far. And thanks, Mr. Punisher and Lawrence. I agree 100% to this. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. Goeienaand, lekker slaap, and see you all.